Hello, my name is Eric Tomlin, and this is my wife, Heather Tomlin.
And we have two children, Hannah and Hallie Tomlin.
And we feel called to missions in Ireland. Ireland matters really no more than any other place does. The gospel is needed all over the world. And it just so happens to be that Ireland is near and dear to our hearts because that is where God has called us. We've often asked ourselves, just as a litmus test, why not Utah? Why not New York? Why not some other place? We never had a desire to go to Brazil or to Haiti or to the DR, but we had a desire that slowly came into view for Ireland. And so as we began to investigate ministry in Ireland, we come to understand that it is a place of significant spiritual darkness. Less than 1% of Ireland would be considered evangelical. And so there's actually not been any significant move of the Lord en masse across the island of Ireland since probably St. Patrick. And so we just have a desire to go and to work and to stand shoulder to shoulder with those that are already there working to make the gospel reality for so many in Ireland. So in thinking about how Ireland matters to the Tomlin family, I would say that there's history involved. Probably close to 30 years ago, I became very interested in really probably all things Irish in a lot of ways, specifically the music and the history and aspects of the culture. And as a result, being a believer over 2.5 decades, I began to wonder if God might use my passion for Irish traditional music in a way for His glory.
Eric came to me in the spring of 2024. My first response was, what? And no, that's not what I'm feeling called to do. But as we started praying about that, then the Lord just opened up opportunities for us to speak with people that were in Ireland, but also headed to Ireland. That was from June until about November. And then we sat down with our pastor, Chris, and kind of told him what we were praying about. And I can remember he said, well, the next step would probably be to just go and see what the Lord might have for you there.
So I would say that God used my interest in the music and the culture as a means to get our attention put on Ireland. After arriving there and spending 2 weeks nearly, the first trip, it just became so obvious to us that the Lord was doing so much in the churches that we met the people from. And everywhere we went, we were told that there was definitely more work that can be done, and there was a great need for more workers. Hearkening back to that statement that the harvest is white, but the workers are few.
You know, growing up here where there's a multitude of churches everywhere, there it's very sparse, and just saw the need for them to have fellow believers come and stand alongside of them and help them to share the gospel.
So when we came back from our first vision trip, we made the commitment to put one foot in front of the other until either we get to Ireland or God changes our path. We felt that that was the only way to be faithful to what we felt that He was calling us to.
And during that process, there was a lot of struggles, obstacles. How do I give up my retirement after I've worked so hard and I'm so close? But the Lord just worked and gave us a release with that. And then with the girls too, like just we're trusting Him.
It has been very obvious along and along. God has given us, for lack of a better word, breadcrumbs. And those breadcrumbs have come from either friends that we have that are here that just they happen to call or ask questions at the right time, or even connections we've made in Ireland. It seems like as we are really in the middle of asking deep and profound questions about how are we going to raise the support to be sustained there? How are we going to handle our financial future? Because we are leaving our careers early. How are we going to handle the distances between us and some of our family? How will our children process all of the changes that are coming? All of these things have contributed to just places in our spiritual life where prayer has just become paramount. I often go through seasons of prayer, and I suppose anyone goes through seasons of prayer depending on what they're experiencing in life, but I can tell you for sure when you're anticipating raising a support network for finances and for just spiritual strength, your prayer life gets much more regular very quickly. Ministry there is very much based on the need at the moment. But thankfully, we do have a good idea of what we're going to be asked to do. And thankfully, again, it will center around areas of our strength. I will be primarily involved in men's discipleship, leading Bible studies, and being part of the worship team and worship team development. Long-term goal is, after being established in Ireland for some time, there's a hope that we would be a part of a team to go out and to help plant a new church in a neighboring village or town.
My role will be to be a support and a helpmate to Eric. And then also, much like I do here, then I'll be involved with children, which is my passion. But also I'll have a chance to be involved with other ladies for Bible study. And they also have a toddler time at least once a week at Cavan Baptist for most of the year, where parents, moms or dads, can bring their toddlers and let them come and play and have some adult conversation and interaction while the kids play, and then they have tea and biscuits, or the kids have toast. During that time, can make connections with people in the community that may not be believers, that may not even be connected to the church. They do have a lot of just activities in the area for women. I don't knit or do things like that, but I might learn how. And so they have a lot of that available that's not tied to the church, but would be a chance for me to get out in the community where I can just connect with other ladies and live life in that community, that I might share the gospel through that.
One of the opportunities that I had whenever we went on this last trip was to go and to be a part of several different traditional music sessions in neighboring towns. Was able to go in and join a session, and the people were very friendly. If you know anything about those environments, it's very inclusive. It's a very social environment. And so then I went back the following week, and the people there actually remembered my name and remembered that I was from Georgia. And they just included me into that. And it was great because I felt that that was the Lord actually showing me that sharing the gospel through the platform of traditional music is a very viable platform. We're very excited that God seems to be showing us that there is absolutely opportunity to use the things that we enjoy doing to be able to introduce people to Jesus. We're so grateful for the support that we have already received. It's been financial, it's been prayer, it's been encouragement. But in thinking about deploying, we will need to raise a significant amount of money just to be able to get to Ireland. Number two, we're going to need a lot of prayer. We can do none of this without prayer. We would never want to try to do it without prayer. In fact, I would say that if we had all the money in the world, we would not want to try to deploy to any kind of ministry without being saturated in prayer. So we would ask that you would partner with us in prayer, that God would lead us in every step that we take, that there would not be one decision made, not one move made that would be done outside of His will in any of this. And then thirdly, the connection. We've had the pleasure of meeting so many other missionaries that have deployed all around the globe. And one of the common things that we hear from them is that they are financially supported. They know that people are praying for them, but it's as if when they leave and go into the field that people forget to reach out and connect with them. And so we would ask that you would stay in contact, and we would say that we would really be hopeful that you would come and visit us. So Heather and I would really like to thank every one of you that has taken the time to pray for us and encourage us. And we always love it when you stop us in the hall or after church and ask us questions. Nothing delights us more than to share about our travels to Ireland and our hopes for the future there. I want to also thank you very much for all of the financial gifts that you have given to us over the last year just to make these vision trips a reality for us. Really and truly, we could never thank you enough for those, because it was those gifts that enabled us to travel, to go and to see, and to feel very confident that God is indeed calling us to be a part of ministry in Ireland. And so we thank you from the bottom of our hearts.